Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Email World.
It is the Monster Man.
This week you're in for a treat. We've got things like the future of email, GDPR 6 months on, Gmail 1.5 billion users, Deliverability 101, plus more. The first story is Future of Email by Email on Acid. Last week, on Monday I believe it was, we were treated to a live Facebook session where John Thies, the CEO of Email on Acid, discussed many aspects of the future of email and how he perceived it. But the thing I would like to pick out to speak about is about ACTA's auditory calls to action. Now you're probably thinking, what's all that about? Well, first and foremost, I didn't realise that there's over 330 million people worldwide that have visual impairment. One thing that we need to take away from that as well is also advancements in technology such as the Apple HomePad, Google Home and Amazon Echo. How can we adapt emails in the future to cater for the people with visual impairment? If you can, watch the video. The second story that I would like to talk about is GDPR 6 months on, and it's a blog article posted by CSA. And here we have a perspective from a legal standpoint as well as a sender's certified association standpoint of, in fact, what was the real impact of GDPR and what was the patterns that were noticed. I think some of the takeaways from that were the fact that a lot of senders in general, they seem to revalidate their whole of their database, which was a bit unnecessary, particularly for those that were double opt-in. There was a risk of the list shrinking, in fact. Another point, there was triple the amount of complaints registered over in Europe, more than likely due to people simply having a doubt whether they should complain or not. The article also discusses the 3 major court cases and the developments of those. Another point to consider is the report with compliance of DMARC and EU GDPR. And the third point is deletion versus burden of proof, which again was another good read, and is in regards to, at one point, members can delete their data if it's held by a third party. But at what point data owners have to hold on to this data because, for example, a complaint in the future, or perhaps they need to show proof of opt-in. At one point, if they delete it, then they can never prove that they had it legally in the first place. Okay, the third article is about the fact that Gmail now have 1.5 billion users worldwide. Here you can see this little GIF on their Twitter account just to say thank you very much. And let's just pick out the names. So if Brooke, Lefu, Mike Chang or Brigitta Werner, if any of you are watching, I'll give you a free t-shirt. Thankfully they only put 3 in that. That's just a reminder to us all that how important Gmail is, and to ensure that we're going to the right inbox or being placed in the right folder. Talking about Gmail, let's talk about the big 3 players that used to be called the big 4 players. Here we can see a good article posted by Brad on deliverycounts.com, and I think for anyone in email marketing it's important to know, in fact, how, even from a deliverability standpoint, how these ISPs, we should manage them. If there's a problem, what the process is we need to take in consideration. Subject line of the week. The subject line of the week, according to Bex Brewer, is "Are you Freddie for this? Bohemian Rhapsody." Freddie Mercury. Cheers, Bex. "'Tis the season to be holiday ready." Now here's a good guide, a big guide from Jessica Martinez of Kickbox, and it's a no BS advice from email experts, and this is just flooded with great tips in terms of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, over the Christmas period. So you have some great experts in here with some great strategies. Last but not least, I couldn't help but not mention an article about Halloween, seeing as it's Halloween in 2 days' time. So this one I saw on Red Pill Email on their Twitter feed, and in fact the article was about Halloween. It's Trick and Treat, our guide to Halloween emails. Now you're probably thinking I've got 2 days left. Now it's never too late to add in a pumpkin to your subject line. Give this article a read and see if there's any do's and don'ts that you perhaps that you've forgotten of. That can be the blood, yeah. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Happy Halloween.